in 2017, when I was having my Cambridge exam around May, we were to have physics exam, P4 to be precise. I entered into the exam hall. We received the exam papers and we were asked to start. On getting to the first page, the first question I saw, I was unable to solve it. Second question, I was unable to solve it. The third question, I was also unable to solve it. So this set in fear in me, and I was disoriented in the exam hall. Thinking about it now, I think it has an impact on my results. Which is one of the reasons why I came up with this video, to tell you about the causes of what causes exam anxiety and how to actually tackle them, either in the exam hall or before you actually do the exam. Hi, my name is Pelumi, a second year medical student. I post educational and self-development content. So if you are up for that, please kindly hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that you get updates anytime I post new videos. Let's start with causes of exam anxiety. Now the first is unpreparedness. I remember then, the day before the exam that I did, in Cambridge physics, I was actually meant to study early in the morning, like I was actually meant to study for the entire day, but then I didn't. So one of my roommates was playing an Indian movie, and you know Indian movies are usually very long, ridiculously long, 3 hours. So I was like, okay, yeah, after watching this movie, I'll read my book. So after watching the video, I wanted to study. Put it in mind that 3 hours out of my entire day is already gone. So I was looking for my textbook, I was unable to find my textbook, so I couldn't read very well throughout that day. So I had to read early in the morning, the next morning, which didn't really compensate for it. One of the reasons why we experience exam anxiety is if we didn't really prepare before the exam. If you prepared properly before the exam, and you practice questions before then, and you are getting high scores in those tests, your confidence level will be elevated, and you will most likely not even feel exam anxiety at all. Now, the second is if you have poor test history. Now, what I mean by this poor test history is if in the past you've been doing tests, like I said now, that when you are done preparing for the exam, you've read the entire syllabus, and then you are now solving questions. Now, from some of the questions, I'm able to get this question, I'm able to get this question. Let's say peradventure you were solving questions and you couldn't really grasp, or you weren't getting the question. That will set in, and let's say your exam is like in the next 1 week, like you tell me, you'll be very scared. You'll be like, so that means I've been wasting my time. And the fact that you have a short period of time between when you are realizing this and the exam itself, we cause the exam anxiety. Now, the third cause of exam anxiety is fear of failure. Having it in mind that this exam that you're going to go for is very crucial, and you know the effect of actually failing that exam make you fear that exam. And the fear of that exam will lead to your exam anxiety. Now, the fourth cause of exam anxiety is your expectation. From your tests, having practiced a lot of questions, you really didn't get most of it. Let's say your exam is tomorrow and you're solving some questions and you didn't get much of it. Now, today, by the time you go for your exam, you will feel, I can't really do well, because all these questions I've been solving is not really that good. So before you go to the exam, while in the exam, you experience the exam anxiety, or you experience a form of fear, and you can even be very, very, you can escalate to the point of you actually gasping for it in the exam. So your expectations, your bad expectation, the expectation of you not really doing well in the exam cause the exam anxiety. So you be scared of failing will cause exam anxiety. People that experience exam anxiety always tend to not do well, except those people that are able to actually cope, or able to suppress it, or to actually overcome it. Now, in this next part, I'll be talking about how you can actually deal with exam anxiety. Now, I'll be breaking down into two parts how to deal with exam anxiety. You have the first part, which is before the exam. Then you have the second part, which is during the exam. Now, for before the exam, now the first way you can actually overcome exam anxiety, you also actually deal with it, is by doing thorough preparation. Now, doing thorough preparation in the sense that before you go into the exam, or even before your exam at all, you study all your materials. You make sure that you cover the entire syllabus. You revise it before the exam to the point where you are very, very confident in each of those topics that is in the syllabus. Now, the second way to actually deal with exam anxiety before the exam is to actually sleep well. I know a lot of students tend not to sleep a day before the exam, trying to read or trying to revise. Not sleeping a day before the exam, or not sleeping at all, an adverse effect on the way you react to things. Not sleeping well has a lot of effect on your emotions. So you go into the exam and not able to solve a single question, will escalate to a very big issue to you, and so you go into the exam and not able to solve a single question, you tend to take it to the extreme, and that leads to exam anxiety. So before you go into the exam, make sure that you sleep well. Have your 6 hours of sleep. If possible, you can make it 8 hours, but I don't think it's just make it 6 hours of sleep. So steady 6 hours of sleep is enough. Another way you can actually deal with exam anxiety before your exam is to eat well, sleep well, eat well, rest well. Eat well, sleep well, rest well. Although sleeping well and resting is almost the same thing, but then that you eat well for your exam. Now, and make sure that you don't eat food that will disturb your stomach. Eat steady food. Now, another way is also to try and avoid the perfectionist trap. I know before your exam, you might want to, as I said before, that you should try and cover the entire syllabus. Instead of doing that, make sure that you stick with the syllabus. Don't go to the extreme. As long as you are preparing for UTME now, and you go ahead to go and be reading Cambridge A-level syllabus, A-level topics, like in depth. You are reading the topic in depth because you want to actually really understand it. So try and avoid the perfectionist trap. Just read according to the syllabus and then just solve questions. Another way to actually deal with it is get to your exam early. Put a lot of thoughts in your mind. Have they started? Have they called my name? And all this brings about fear. So get to your exam very, very early.
Now, how do you deal with exam anxiety in the exam? Now, the first thing is to actually have positive thoughts. I know when you are experiencing exam anxiety, you always tend to have a lot of negative thoughts. Oh, I can't do well. I'm to fail. Then try as much as possible to make sure that you practice your mindfulness. Just bring your mind back and focus on the questions that you're able to solve, and try to actually put in a lot of effort into those ones that you can't recall at that point. And the way you can actually have positive thoughts, just go back and think of a very exciting moments in your life and just put yourself in that atmosphere, in that memory. Another way to deal with the exam anxiety in the exam is to not pay attention to what others are doing. Paying attention to what others are doing will aggravate your exam anxiety, because there will be some of them in the exam that will even be done before you are done. Now, focusing on them will make you feel bad about yourself. What am I doing? I didn't know this much. How come this person has finished? And it's more like it fits your exam anxiety. So do not pay attention to what others are doing.
Another way to deal with exam anxiety in the exam is to be mindful of the time. Exam anxiety will escalate if you have lesser time to do your exam. So be mindful of the time. The last method for dealing with exam anxiety in the exam is be calm. Try as much as able to be calm. Focus on calm breaths. And the way you can be calm in the exam is to think of any joke, probably your tutor, your teacher, or any of your friends said, and just try and play it in your head. Then you try as much as able to laugh. Now doing that will definitely calm you. So that's it, guys. So if you find this very helpful, kindly hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell. See you guys in my next video.